friends, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate a really easy card with you. But this is a card that I am currently loving. I love the layout on this, and it's a great card for mass producing, especially if you need to make a lot of Christmas cards, which I do. I am going to be using the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. Now, of course, this set comes with a beautiful set of dies, but I'm not using the dies on this card. I'm just keeping it quick and easy and simple. But it's also a card layout. You can switch out the sentiment and use it for birthdays or masculine or other occasions. So I wanted to share it with you. So without further ado, let's start stamping. So this is the card that we're going to make today. It is a very simple card. I love simple cards, don't you? Especially when you want to make some cards in a hurry or you need to mass produce a bunch of cards. All right, so I am going to use a piece of real red cardstock. So I'm just going to score this at 4 1/4 down along the 8.5 inch side, and then spin it around and cut it at 5.5, which will give me 2 cards with that crease already in the center. So I can set that aside. We'll be using this one for the card today. And then I have a piece of basic black. I'm going to cut this down at 5 1/4 by 4. And even though I'm only making 1 card in this video, I'm going to cut this one down at the same time, and then I have all my bits and pieces so that I can make a second card the same design when I have a chance. Alright, and then I have a piece of Fairy Vanilla, and I am going to cut this down 3 3/4 by 5. So that's for 1 card. Well, maybe I'll make 2 cards during this video. You just never know. You just never know. But look, you can see what I'm doing. I'm building my layers. Just comes up, okay, just like that. And I am now also going to need this middle portion right here, which is cut out with a die. So let me grab that die. Okay, so I have my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got my number 1 plate, my number 2 plate, and then I have my clear plastic number 3 plates. So I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna cut my Fairy Vanilla first. So I have my stitched rectangle dies. So I am just going to, I'm gonna cut out 2 of those. There's one. I'm gonna cut out the second one. Alright, so now I have the scallop contour dies. Hopefully, yeah, I think that's what these are. And this will fit inside that die cut pretty darn perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut my black cardstock. Now what I'm gonna do there is the piece that I cut for my card layer, I'm actually going to cut out the center bit because no one's going to see that part. And then I'm not cutting into another piece of cardstock. I'm kind of crazy that way, I know. Okay. Run that through. And do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto my card base. And I'll do the second card too. And I'll do a little variation of this card design. And then you can decide which one you want to do, should you choose to recreate this at home. Okey-doke. I really like the glue because I can wiggle things around because, yeah, I'm good at getting things on crooked. Alright, there's my 2 card bases. Okay, now it's time to decorate these Fairy Vanilla pieces of cardstock. So I'm quite excited. I just got some new stencils. These are called our Adorning Designs Decorative Masks. They are on page 9 of our current mini catalog. So they're part of the Gingerbread and Peppermint suite. I love our decorative masks, our stencils. So Stampin' Up calls them decorative masks, but of course they're stencils. So I'm excited to see the patterns. Oh, missed one. Okay, so we have that fun design. Then we have the pretty snowflakes. Then we have that cool diagonal. It's like perfect for candy canes and different designs. And then, of course, being part of our gingerbread suite, like how perfect is that for like the icing, or you know what I mean. Okay, anyways, I need to figure out which pattern I want to use for my cards today. That's a toughie. I'm going to do one with the snowflakes, and I'm going to do this one here. Okay, so I am taking my Sahara sand, and I have my blending brush, and let's start with this one here. So I'm just going to hold it down in place. You can use washi tape or something like that to hold it down, and I'm just going to lightly add on this ink. You don't have to worry about the middle too much because that's going to get covered. It's more around the sides. So you see? So that's perfect because that's going to get covered up anyways when I put this on. Okay, so that adds a really neat background. Let's do it now with the snowflakes. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh my gosh, I love that mask. That's a great one. Great one. Okay, that's my background. Quick and easy. Next, I'm pulling in our stamp set, which is the Peaceful Cabin. I'm only using the stamps. There are coordinating dies with this, so you can get it as a bundle, but I'm just going to use the stamp set today. So I'm going to take out my trees and put them on. Whoops, making a racket. I'm just going to put those trees on my my block, and I'm going to ink it with my black Memento ink pad. Now remember, what I stamp in the center, you're not really going to see. Let me zoom in for you guys. So far away. All right. Okay. Doesn't matter if you go down a little bit or, you know, up in the middle, but I'm just going to stamp it right there. And I'm going to stamp again right here. Not worrying about this because, again, it's going to get covered, right? So I just wanted to be able to see the tree tips. So just keep that in mind when you're stamping your trees where you kind of want everything. Oh my gosh, I put that upside down on my stamp set. I'm making a mess. I'm doing exactly the same thing. And I'm going to stamp up a little bit higher so I can get those trees to show up at the top when I put on my middle piece. All right, so now I need my house. I'm going to ink this up really, really well. Stamp it down. This just fits into this particular die. Oh man, I didn't want that. I'm gonna flip it over and do it again. That's because I got ink around the edge here of the stamp. So let's just wipe that off and do it again. Perfect. Do the second one. Pull out the little snowflakes and stamp some snowflakes on here. And I'm going to do that with the Sahara sand. And just stamp a few here and there. Like that. Do this one. I like to turn my stamp so my snowflakes are going in different directions. Okay, so I'm just going to glue these onto the basic black layers. Now for this, I'm using the Heartfelt Wishes. I love, love, love these stamps. So I'm going to grab my Merry Christmas and my Real Red ink pad. Ink this up really, really good. And let's this one right here. And I'm off camera. There we go. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to use the sentiment that comes in the Peaceful Cabin stamp set. Your kindness makes the world a more beautiful place to be, which I love that. So I'm going to ink this one up, and I think I can fit it right in here beneath the trees. I sure do hope so. Anyhow, let's slide this over so you can see what I'm doing. Just got it in there. All right, so now it's time to put this part onto the card base. Make sure I get my little corners so they don't turn up. And now some Stampin' Dimensionals. Okay, and then this piece also has dimensionals, and I'm gonna put that on like so. See how I have a little tiny bit of that tree popping through. Now, if you wanted to, in the stamp set we have, I do believe that's a fox. So if you wanted to, you could stamp that little fox on there. And I mean, this is a fun stamp set. I mean, you can stamp this on there, but I'm just keeping this very, very simple. Probably should have stamped this beforehand, but that's okay. I'm gonna stamp it right there. So now I have my little fox on there. And then I would just add my cardstock for inside the card and stamp my Christmas wishes, and there you have it. Doesn't get any faster or easier than that. So here's my original card, and you can see that I used a different stencil, a different decorative mask for that one. So you see you get a very different look depending on which stencil or mask you use on your card, but they take no time at all. You could even use your stencil on your cardstock before you cut it, and then you have a full sheet that's already been stenciled, and you just have to cut it into 4 pieces to put on your card. So that makes it really easy and fast for mass producing. Or you could use designer series paper too. But adding those trees in the background, I love that. I just think that's so much fun. You could also add some clear Wink of Stella. Let me grab that. Because, you know, nothing beats glitter on a Christmas card. So I'm just squeezing out some of that clear Wink of Stella. Hopefully you can see that shimmer, hopefully. And you can put some on the snowbanks on top of the chimney. It does make a difference, for sure. It makes a difference. I'm going to do that to this one too, because I already did that on the original one. This is a great layout and a great design to mass produce your Christmas cards this year. Try them using blue cardstock or green, even crumb cake. You could have a lot of fun with this. Imagine doing some gold embossing. Beautiful card layout. Fast, quick, and easy. You can change the sentiment, whatever you like. Of course, I put that over to the left because that tree was in the way. But you can totally make them work with whatever sentiments you want. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Happy stamping!